Let us get this game up on board. Oh, what the heck. Hank. Reload my monitor here. Oh, yeah. We got some of that Spirit of Justice to get through. Started a new case last time. There's theoretically time travel involved. It could be true. But Phoenix is acting with unusual amounts of skepticism from someone as steeped in the impossible as himself. Oh boy. Alright. Back. Oh yes. A new person. Is this? Oh wow. Oh, the RAL is the initials for the airline. Alright. Nick, how long has that guy been standing there? I didn't even notice him until just now. Excuse me, are you with Sprocket Aviation? Huh? Nick, he wrote something on that paper airplane. I guess we're supposed to read it then. Let's see here. Get out, intruders. Well, that was a rather cold welcome. That would not be a welcome, son. Mr. Wright, Maya, meet the lone son of the president of Sprocket Aviation, Soren Sprocket. Or, to put it another way, the future president of Sprocket Aviation. So he's Ellen's fiance? Oh, there he goes. He's kind of an eccentric. I hear he's the genius inventor behind many of Sprocket Aviation's business successes. An inventor, huh? Yep, he even designed this airship. That's pretty impressive. Nick, this is no time to be standing around gawking. We have to go after him. We need to ask him some questions about Ellen. Oh, right. It looked like he was heading outside. Where BI? Okay. Okay, we've done the U-talk. We've looked around. Let's go outside. Mooring dock. September 21. Sprocket Park. Mooring dock. There he is. Excuse me, could we talk to you? Excuse me, do you mind if I ask what you're doing? He sure is riding up a storm. It is possible. If an enormous change, then theoretically matter can transform even as it crosses the event horizon. Well, let's see just what he has to say about Ellen. Ellen? Excuse me, but we'll be representing Ellen in court tomorrow. So, could we ask you about the case? What the? Not interested? Not interested? How can you say something like that? This is about your fiancée. She's under arrest, you know. The diameter of the airship is approximately 80 feet. The amount of energy necessary to move matter comprised that amount of mass is off in his own little world. I can't believe he said he was not interested in talking about his own bride's arrest. We'll just have to talk on his level then, with something he might be interested in. You mean the timekeeper? I think he means the timekeeper. Oh. I have to go out, be in a special menu. What are you showing me that for? Mr. Sprocket. I can't read him at all. Not even with an item as loaded with sentiments as this. Okay, this one. Could you take a look at this? Is that Ellen's? Ellen told us that she traveled through time during the incident. She said it happened after she made a wish on this pendant. You mean to say you two are Ellen's lawyers? Yes. I just told you that a minute ago. Sorry, I was lost in thought. He wasn't even listening? Oh boy. He's not at all what I expected, based on Ellen's gushing testimonial anyway. Ellen? We'd like to ask you about Ellen's case, if you don't mind. I don't know a thing about it, so why don't you go ask the police? In other words, not interested. This guy's the worst. Now I feel sorry for poor Ellen. In that case, can I ask you about how Ellen traveled through time? Go on. I guess that got your attention. So, is time travel really even possible? Says the mystic who summons the dead. Yes, it is possible. Alrighty then. At the same time, it's also impossible. The pendant I gave Ellen is not a time machine. It's literally just a pendant. It's not supposed to operate as a time machine by itself. Oh, what do you mean? The timekeeper, that clock we had displayed in the reception hall. That is the body of the time machine. The pendant is simply a part. That clock was the murder weapon, wasn't it? But it's a time machine too? What Ellen experienced is akin to traveling down a road by car key. Physically and metaphysically, it should be impossible. Nonetheless, maybe the quantum system inside the pendant somehow accidentally interfered with the natural flow of the fourth dimension. We're losing him again. Maybe we'd better ask him some more about the time machine. The time machine. So, you've been researching time travel, have you? Moving through the space-time continuum would be man's ultimate means of travel. Time travel as a mode of transportation? Since the dawn of time, man has developed multifarious methods of transportation. Horses, steam engines, gas engines, airplanes, spaceships. But they're all fundamentally similar in that they constitute three-dimensional movement. Travel through the space-time continuum would shift mankind into a new paradigm. I don't know why, Nick, but I'm getting awfully sleepy all of a sudden. The generation Sprocket Aviation has advanced the development of transportation. Therefore, it's only natural that I would research time travel as man's next great leap. Is he done? So what exactly does all this stuff you're saying mean, Nick?
Well, basically it's like taking a hamburger joint and adding a drive-through to it, I guess.
Oh, I get it. It's the same burger, but with a quicker and more efficient delivery system. So what Soren really wants to do is launch humanity into the future. Launch, not lunch.
But do you really believe that time travel is possible? Says the man with the magical pendant that allows him to tell when people are lying.
It only becomes truly impossible when man stops daring to believe. Besides, time travelers do exist, you know. But you wouldn't understand. Did you hear that, Nick? Time travelers really do exist.
All I know is Soren isn't the easiest guy to wrap your head around.
Well, I don't know. I kind of like the way he talks. It's full of hope for the future. He's more passionate than I thought, too. When it comes to inventions, anyway.
Yeah, his apparent lack of concern for Ellen is troubling now. So, I hear that the rest of the Sprocket family was opposed to your marriage. What are your thoughts on that?
Master Soren. It is time for the meeting on next term's project. What is this? Daydreaming about your inventions again? Tut tut, you're the future president. You must consider the business side, too.
Eh?
It is I. I found Soren. Send the car over at once. Not interested. Oh, Master Soren, you do give me quite the headache at times. In any case, your attendant is waiting. Please go to him now.
Excuse me, but who are you?
Oh, where are my manners? My name is Pierce Nickety. Please call me Pierce. I'm the Sprocket family butler. Nick, a butler? I didn't know they actually still existed. I thought they were just on TV and stuff. And who might you be, if you don't mind my asking?
Oh, I'm Phoenix Wright, Ellen Wyatt's lawyer.
And I'm his assistant, Maya Fey. I'm a spirit medium. Oh, so it is you. I'm most grateful to you for taking on Miss Ellen's defense. You have my sincerest thanks.
Don't mention it. So, hey, speaking of the case...
Oh, one moment, please. Wow, what a beautiful pocket watch. Oh, this? It's just a bit of a good luck charm.
That's one expensive good luck charm. But I guess it makes sense. Not knowing the time is pretty important in his line of work. So I guess that pocket watch is as important to him as my attorney's badge is to me.
There's a little time before I must attend to Master Soren again. Why not come to Sprocket Manor?
Huh? You mean to Soren's home?
As a token of appreciation for taking on Miss Ellen's defense, I'd like to serve you some delicious tea and refreshments. Oh boy, Nick! Fancy high society tea party, with high-class snacks and everything.
And what about the investigation?
Are you kidding? What better place to investigate next than Soren's house?
don't know. Do you really think his house is going to give us any new leads?
Of course it will. I say we take the butler up on this kind offer and go to Soren's place.
All right, you win.
Very good. To Sprocket Manor, then.
I've already searched here, but it never hurts to take a look around. I wasn't wanting to.
I just want to hit the button.
All right, foyer.
Foyer. September 21.
Sprocket Manor.
Foyer. Wow. This place does not disappoint. Ooh, I'm so excited.
Whoa, slow down, Maya. The mansion isn't going anywhere.
Now then, we won't have to worry about anyone untoward eavesdropping here. I take it you wanted to ask me some questions.
Ah. That's why you invited us here?
I'm sorry to have tricked you like this. But this is a murder, after all. I couldn't talk openly about it in public and risk sullying the Sprocket family's reputation. Aww. And I was really looking forward to all those fancy snacks, too.
There, Maya. Don't cry. This Pierce guy is one shrewd man.
Hey, Nick. Look at that cute vintage radio.
A radio? Oh, that thing over there under the stuffed ball's head. I'm looking at the piece of paper on the floor.
I'm gonna take a closer look.
No! I thought I told you to settle down.
I'm sorry. Not to worry.
Science! Wow, that little mech fixed it right up.
I'm not only the butler, but I'm also Sprocket Aviation's repair department director. One might say that patching things up is my specialty. That was incredible. What is that little doohickey on your shoulder anyway? It's my fixer-upper shoulder neck. Master Soren made it for me. It has too many features and functions to effectively enumerate at the moment, though. That's so cool. I wish I had one of those. Fixing things is a simple matter, but fixing people is a different matter, even if a skilled physician can bring back the dead. Oh, but forgive me, I seem to have gotten sidetracked.
He must be in shock over Mr. Gloomsbury's death. Still, I do need to ask him some questions about the case. I should take a look around and see what I can find out while I'm here, too. Yes, the look around. Also the talk, I guess. The incident. The incident.
About the incident Miss Ellen was arrested for. Do you think she did it?
Well, I can't prove it yet, but no, I don't think she could have done it. I guess you could call it a gut feeling.
I see. I guess we have different opinions then.
Do we now?
The prosecution says that when Gloomsbury attacked Miss Ellen, she fought back. and ended up killing him. I agree with this perspective. Or rather, that is the consensus of the entire Sprocket family.
Even so, I heard an interesting story from Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth. I heard the Sprocket family had tried to pressure the prosecutor's office into burying this case.
I fear you are mistaken. All we sought was merely a legal consultation. Besides, none of it matters now, as she is no longer a part of this family. Fortunately for us, they had yet to get their marriage license before holding the banquet.
So, basically, once they realized they couldn't sway the prosecution, they cut her loose.
I realize how callous I must sound, but my duty is to protect the Sprocket family, and more specifically, Sprocket Aviation's future and Master Soren, whose genius is essential to the company. I will do anything to achieve that goal, and that's my job as the Sprocket family butler. You know, I think Pierce and Mr. Edgeworth would get along really well, don't you think?
Yeah, I could easily picture Edgeworth with a butler.
Oh, and by the way, I suppose I should tell you about this as well. It's about when the members of the extended family and I discovered the crime.
Is it now? Dun, dun. Time travel. Did Ellen say anything to you about traveling through time?
She must have been delirious. There's no need to take such a claim seriously.
Soren himself said that time travel was possible, though.
Master Soren said that? Sounds like he's still stuck in the past.
He's psychologically stuck, I take it.
Ring wing. Excuse me. What is it? I see. I believe I told you the madam will be having milk tea. Still, have lemon slices at the ready just in case. We must not disappoint her, understand?
You sure are busy.
All in a day's work. Still, we really do need Master Soren to start focusing on the business side of things soon.
Could you tell us about that thing you mentioned about Soren's past?
There is something in Master Soren's past that he wishes he could change. Please forgive me. This isn't something I should be sharing with strangers.
No, I really want to know what Soren's still hung up on.
Discovering the crime. The crime! It was sometime after the reception. Some of the Master's relatives and I went to clean up the reception hall. And that is when we saw it. A woman standing in front of the victim with the bloody murder weapon in her hand. It was none other than Miss Ellen.
But, Pierce, it wasn't what it looked like.
That's right. She just happened to find the body. I do not know what Miss Ellen has told you, but what we witnessed was unmistakably the moment immediately after the deed had been committed. And that is what I told the police who came in response to my call.
I see. So, Pierce was the one who reported it to the police, huh?
Like, was he now? Let's examine the things. This thing that has been catching my eye since we entered the park.
Excuse me, but there's a card here on the floor. Well, look at that. It's a Flying Chapel keycard. The Flying Chapel? What areas on the Flying Chapel require a keycard, if I may ask?
Mostly areas we want to keep the public out of, such as the staff room and the hold, which is chock full of machinery.
So you can't enter those areas without a key card?
That's right. This one here belongs to Ellen.
Wait, what's Ellen's key card doing here? Did Ellen come back here after the incident occurred?
Well, I don't believe so, and she was arrested by the police straight away this morning.
Although there was a strange man with a gaudy jacket in here earlier. Was that man wearing a beret by any chance?
Yes, he was, as a matter of fact. He was also wearing sunglasses and a fake mustache.
I knew it. The only question is, what was he doing here?
Victor? Hey, Nick. Now here's a real lady.
She looks smart as a whip, doesn't she?
I wonder who she is. We didn't see her on the airship. That is Selena Sprocket, Soren's elder sister. Beautiful and capable, she was a great lady.
Soren's sister? I think I see the resemblance. Maybe I'll show Pierce this photo later and ask him about her.
Selena Sprocket photo added to the court record. Photo of Soren's older sister, Selena. It looks like it was taken in some kind of office. But you know, who knows what really happened?
Oh, are those pictures of the wedding reception?
Yes, I took them with my trusty camera here. Do you mind if we have a look at that photo? Be my guest. Take as long a look as you'd like. Oh my. Well, what do you think of this gorgeous dreamscape? A thick fog billows across the room, making it look as if the couple were walking on clouds. Wow. Look at how beautiful Ellen is here. She looks a little nervous, though.
She does, doesn't she?
Hey, look, there's Pierce.
Really? Where?
Right there, behind the sweetheart table.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Hey, you're right. I bet he was there attending to the happy couple the whole dinner.
So, what do you think, Nick? Does anything in this photo stick out at you?
No, not at the moment, anyway.
Photo of reception out of the court record. A photo of the reception taken by a relative. Much of the reception hall is obscured by thick fog. Hey, Nick. If Ellen really did travel back in time, do you think there's photos of the second reception? You know, after the time jump?
Wonder. Excuse me, sir? Yes, can I help you? Ellen told us she traveled back in time. Would you happen to know anything about that? Oh, no, I haven't the foggiest idea what you're talking about. He climbed up faster than a clown. Alright. Flaws. Do. Wow. Oh, it's the bridal bouquet. How'd that get here? Hey, Nick, how about I throw it? And you try to catch it. Why me? And just because. I bet you'd look hilarious, flailing around trying to grab it. But doesn't tradition dictate that it's the ladies that go after the bouquet? Who cares? Just catch it. Here. Hey, you threw that right in my face. Oh, you don't want to catch that bouquet, trust me. Why not? They say it's bad luck to catch a bouquet if a marriage doesn't last. But I already caught it. Oops. Too late now, huh, Nick? Ah. Woo-woo. Actually, look at the radio. Should hydrate too, because Hank. Don't you dare touch that radio again. Just unusually warm. Indoors, this place. It looks like an expensive antique. What are you worried about? If it breaks again, Pierce will just fix it up again. I really hope he's nice enough to waive the repair bill. A bull. Come to think of it, there was a bull logo on the side of the Flying Chapel, too. The president of the company must have a thing for cattle. It's called a fursona. The bull is a symbol of Sprocket Aviation. To be as strong and steady as a bull. That's a company creed, you know. Probably for all the backbreaking labor they put their employees through. By the way, that bull logo on the Flying Chapel, the one with the rainbow wings, his name is Rainy the Rainbow, get it? I get it. He's a rainbow-colored bull, so he's a rainbow, right? What a memorable name, huh, Nick? Yeah, for the lameness of the pun. A bull. Come to think of it, there was a bull logo on the side of the Flying Chapel, too. Oh wait, we just did this one! Why would you make me bark it again? Propel. Hank. Nick? Look at that airplane propeller up there, going round and round. I see they've got an aviation theme going on. Makes sense for an airline family. I wonder if it doubles as a fan. What if the rest of the plane were on the other side of that wall? And the wall would open up so the plane could take off in an emergency. How cool would that be? If that's what's behind the propeller wall, then what's behind the bull wall across the way? Oh, I know. Maybe it's the rest of him. That must be where the sprockets get their milk.
Nick, first of all, that's a beef cow. And second, bulls don't make that kind of milk.
Oh, right. That's what I get for trying to play along.
Here it is again!
Alright, back.
Fireplace. Upstairs. Staircase made. Flowers and... Okay. I think those are all the things to be touchified. To be explorulated. Nothing here. Do we want to present? Anything of interest? No, not really. Oh, yeah. Where shall we go? Back? Hold on, I'd better have a quest log. Go talk with Spears at Sprocket Manor. Done. Show Selena's picture to Pierce, okay. Do you know about the woman in this portrait?
Pierce, the woman in this photo is Soren's older sister Selena, right? I don't think we've met her yet.
Yes, about that.
He seems hesitant all of a sudden. If you wouldn't mind, could you tell us about her?
All right, very well. She's a big part of Master Soren's past, after all.
Soren's past?
Soren's past. Master Soren will become the next president of Sprocket Aviation. However, that wasn't always so. Miss Selena Sprocket, Master Soren's elder sister, was next in line. So why isn't she becoming the next president? Because she died. In a car accident. What?
I had no idea.
Actually, Master Soren was also in the car with her at the time of the accident. Losing the sister he loved right before his eyes devastated him. Ever since then, he's buried himself in his research on time machines. He also became a quiet and meticulous, also almost compulsive note-taker around then. He seemed so stiff and robotic. I had no idea he was carrying all that around inside him. Master Soren has abandoned the company business and spends all his time on inventions. As the family butler, I'm truly concerned. I believe it is high time he let go of the past.
Hey, Nick, what are you doing here? Larry?
Oh man, Edgy gave me a heck of a hard time.
Larry, what are you doing here?
I came to promote my new character, Q Piglet. I was hoping Sprocket Aviation would do some kind of tie-in with me for it. Wow. I didn't know Larry was such an aggressive businessman. You could learn a thing or two from them, Nick. Why don't you promote your agency to them?
Now's not exactly the time for that, in case you haven't noticed.
See? This is why you'll never be rich.
Actually, Larry, I've been meaning to ask you something. You were there in the Flying Chapel yesterday, right? Was I? What were you doing there? Nothing. Whatever it was, I bet it wasn't anything to be proud of, but never mind that. Did you see anything that had to do with the case? Scratch that. Let's start with, you weren't involved in this case, were you? Larry?
Hey, he took off.
I just knew it. When something smells, it's usually the butts. Come on, Maya. After him.
Oh, are you leaving so soon?
We have to run. Thank you for making time for us.
I know you have to investigate, but please try to spare the family's feelings as you do.
Yes, of course. Okay, so we don't need to hang out here. We are here to escape. Where are we escaping to?
Search for Larry.
Who could be anywhere, really.
September 21, Sprocket Park, mooring dock.
There he is. Hey, Larry.
Hey there, friend. Fancy meeting you here.
Midnight. Hey, howdy. Welcome in. There's nothing fancy about it. All we did was follow you. So, tell me, Larry, why did you run away like that?
Me? I don't know what you're talking about. Bolt of inspiration for my new picture book came in. I had to run, is all. It was like a epiphany, you dig?
Right.
He's just gonna keep on playing dumb, isn't he, Nick?
What you saw on the airship. He's just gonna keep playing dumb. Come on, Larry. I know you were on that airship, so what did you see?
I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything because I was never on that stupid airship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we already know about that. Psyche locks.
You say something?
The spiritual power of this Mangatama allows me to see these mystical locks that appear when someone is trying to hide something from me. They're called Psyche locks, and when I see them, I simply present the Mangatama with the X button to try my hand at breaking them. If I can unlock them, I'm sure to finally get a straight answer out of it.
Doot doot. Well, tell me what you saw.
Take that!
Bonk. What Larry is hiding. This is no time for games, Larry. I will find out what you're hiding. I'm telling you, Nick, you got it all wrong. I got nothing to do with this case, whatsoever. Oh, come on, Larry. Even a baby could see through such a blatant and obvious lie. Nothing whatsoever, huh? If you weren't involved, Larry, then you wouldn't have been involved with this person. Involved with? Oh, yeah, just...
Take that!
You're the one who brought Ellen to my office in the first place. And all those cops. Nothing to do with the case whatsoever. Isn't gonna cut it this time, Larry. If you have to lie, at least do a better job of it. Don't diss me, Nick. Larry should know better than to lie to Phoenix. Well, they've been, apart for a while, I guess. I don't know. If you're so convinced I'm lying, then let me ask you this. What makes you think I was on that stupid alert ship anyway? Let me see some proof. You got any? Doubling down, are you? Fine. You want proof, Larry? Here's proof that you were on that airship.
Take that!
The wallet you left behind. Uh-oh. This is your business card wallet, isn't it, Larry? I found it in the reception hall. Ah. Time to come clean, Larry Butts. What exactly are you hiding? All right. Fine, you got me. I'll tell you everything. Unlock successful. What you saw on the airship. Now tell me proper. Larry, what were you doing on the airship anyway? I went there to deliver the welcome to our wedding sign they ordered from me? Huh. I didn't know you took on real jobs like that, too. Well, for your information, my wedding welcome signs are very popular on the net. And that's how you met Ellen? Huh? I mean, I'd seen her in the photo for the welcome sign, but seeing her in person, the way she smiled at me and said, "Thank you," I felt like I'd been hit by lightning. And that's when you fell in love with somebody else's bride, huh? So, were you invited to the reception? Can you believe they told me only family and relatives could attend? They wouldn't even let me into the reception hall. Smart move on their part, I'd say. I got upset and started wandering around the airship. That must be when I dropped my business card wallet. So, somebody else must have found it. And brought it to the reception hall, then. But you know what? I saw something incredible. I was on that flying chapel. Like... Get a load of this. What the heck is this? What do you mean, what is this? Isn't it obvious? It's a drawing. I sketched a picture of one of the cabins on the airship. So, what's so incredible about a cabin? It was outside the window. It's one of those flying dinosaurs. A real-life pterodactyl. I looked out the cabin window and there it was, just flying out there. That airship traveled through time, I tell you.
What?
I told that Pierce Butler guy about it. He told me to never mention it to anybody ever again. But why would he try to keep you from spouting what is clearly just nonsense? Maybe Sprocket Aviation is secretly developing a time machine? No way.
Nick, this case is totally amazing. Larry? You didn't tell Mr. Edwards about this, did you?
Of course not. And you would just roll his eyes and think I was on my rocker. I didn't even tell him I was wandering around the airship. I told him I met Ellie at the mooring dock and we ran away together. Yeah, I can see Edward's eyes rolling right out of his head had he heard about this.
Larry's drawing added the court record. A drawing Larry made from inside a cabin. It shows a pterodactyl flying outside the window.
So, Larry also experienced the time slip somehow. But how is that possible? Hey Nick, I'll be taking my card wallet back now if you don't mind.
Business card wallet swiped back by Larry.
Oh yeah, this is for you. What is it? It's a picture of the hold. I took it when I was wandering around in the airship. The hold being one of the areas that you need the card to get into, and she left her card back at home. See, there's Ellie right there in the middle. The hold? Yeah, see? It's right here on the diagram. Okay. So now I know where the hold is, but what was Ellen doing there? Cool, they were using it as a prepping area for the reception. I see. Oh no. And around when did you take this? Before the reception. I took it while Ellie was getting everything ready. So, this was taken before the incident occurred. I don't know if it'll be of any help, but thanks for this anyway.
Photo of hold added to the court record. A photo of the hold, stealthily taken by Larry. Ellen can be seen near the center.
By the way, Larry, I heard that the door to the hold is controlled by a security system. So, how'd you get in there? That's a trade secret. I can't tell you. And the hits just keep on coming. Well, I guess that's basically a wrap on the investigation.
Not quite, Nick. I want to meet Ellen, too.
Oh, that's right. You haven't met her yet, have you? Okay, let's head over to the detention center then, so you can say hi.
Okay.
To the detention center.
September 21. Detention center. Visitor's room. No. Why? Please understand that this is in Master Soren's best interest.
Sounds like Ellen's busy talking with someone. You should know.
The next president cannot be married to a criminal. It would disgrace Sprocket Aviation. Miss Ellen, I need you to forget about this marriage.
Pardon us.
Oh, it isn't Mr. Wright.
So, their marriage is definitely off.
There is no other choice. We cannot have a criminal in the family. For the sake of Master Soren and the Sprocket family, this is what is best. No. In that case, what if Nick here proved Ellen's innocence? Then you wouldn't have a criminal in the family, right? I suppose you're right, but I'm afraid that will be impossible. Besides, scandals generally work the same way. But that's not true. Not for Nick. He may look like a nobody, but he can do some pretty amazing things.
I don't take cases on lightly, so rest assured I will prove her innocence.
Mr. Phoenix Wright, I understand your name is quite well known in the judicial world. For better or for worse.
Pierce, I want you to promise me this. If I can prove Ellen's innocence, then you won't stand in the way of Soren and Ellen's marriage.
Very well. But not even the most talented lawyer in the world can change reality itself. And the reality is, Miss Ellen is guilty beyond a shadow of a doubt.
I believe that's where you're wrong, Pierce.
I'm clean. I swear I am. Obsessively, compulsively clean. Just as clean as pure, and pure as this pure white dress. Fine, you have my word, but you will be the one to regret this promise. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Now I have all the more reason to win this case. Ellen, we finished our investigation, and we'd like to talk to you about what we found.
Okay, so what did you find out?
Oh, heck. Wabba-da-bub-bub. Of course. Of course! Investigation results. In the course of our investigation, we heard that you had been seen standing in front of the victim with a murder weapon in your hands.
It wasn't what it looked like. It's true I was holding the murder weapon. But when I found him, he was already dead. I panicked. And I was hoping I could go back in time again like I had done earlier. So I picked up the timekeeper from the pedestal and brought it over without thinking.
You were so desperate you were ready to try anything, huh? Unfortunately, that sort of behavior makes you an easy target for the prosecution.
No,
And as for your little trip through time, none of your in-laws could confirm your story, I'm afraid. Why would you expect them to?
I see.
The only exception is Larry. He said he saw something.
Really? What did he see?
I'm grateful. Can't say I quite believe it myself, but Larry claims he saw something incredible. He claims he saw a pterodactyl flying outside the airship.
What?
Not only that, but apparently Persnickety told Larry to keep quiet about it.
But why would Pierce do such a thing? Larry's theory is that Sprocket Aviation is developing something in secret. A time machine, to be exact. Do you think that's why nobody would confirm my story? Because it's a secret?
I really don't know. But speaking of your in-laws, we did manage to find your keycard at Sprocket Manor. One of your in-laws said he'd keep an eye on it for you.
Oh, thank goodness. I lost it while I was getting things ready for the reception. I'd looked everywhere for it. I'm so glad you found it.
At least they're tears of joy this time for a change.
Well, Nick. Looks like you'll have to prove the existence of time travel in court tomorrow. That's right. I swear that while Mr. Grimsbury was being killed, I was busy traveling back through time.
Right. With stodgy skeptic Edgeworth at the helm for the prosecution tomorrow. We're really gonna have our work cut out for us, huh?
Good progress.
Sure. Right. Continuing onward. Yes. The next chapter.
September 22, 8:45 a.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby. Number 3.
Hank.
Fluids.
Hank.
Hank. Good morning, Mr. Wright.
Good morning, Ellen. I see you're still wearing your wedding gown.
I'll continue to wear it until our marriage is saved. Oh, Soren.
Bam, 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 bam.
Do you think you came to see how she's holding up?
Snack? Am I hungry? I don't know. I even have. I still have these cheese crackers. Oh no. I have to hunt one down. Like. Boom, boom, bammer. Boom, boom, bammer. Okay. Like. A snack item. Perhaps. Hulu. Dun, 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 dun. Bum, bum. What is a snack? How do snacks work? Who can do anything? Oh dear. All right. Thank you, Midnight. Heck. Alright.
Soren, my love, you came all the way to the courthouse just to see me? Oh, Soren, I don't know what to say. Blueprints. Huh? The engine blueprints. I can't find them. Do you know where they are? Oh, they're in your room. Third shelf from the bottom on the right-hand side. I see.
Then it disappears. He's leaving already?
Don't tell me he came just to ask you about some stupid blueprints. Is he really that cold of a person, or is that just how he comes off, I wonder? I mean...
Bark, bark, bark.
What about me, Soren? Ellen?
He's back.
Come home soon. I'm lost without you. This is... Soren! Later. Looks like showing your vulnerabilities is the fastest way to capturing a woman's heart. You should take notes on this, Nick.
Please leave me out of this. Ace Attorney, okay? Anyway, it looks like Soren isn't big on words. But it's clear that he cares about Ellen. Knowing that, I actually feel kind of relieved. Oh.
Mr. Wright? I just absolutely can't be found guilty, you hear?
Don't worry. I'm going to do everything I can to prove your innocence.
Thank you, Mr. Wright.
trial's about to start, sir. Edgeworth. Knowing him, he's not going to yield an inch. So I've just got to fight with everything I've got and save Ellen. September 22, 9 a.m. District Court, Courtroom number 6. Day 1. Court is now in session. All rise. Court is now in session for the trial of Ellen Wyatt. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Seeing so many familiar faces gathered together like this, I feel as though I'm at a grand reunion. It makes me want to go out for dinner or a drink and reminisce with all of you.
Oh, it sounds like a great idea. I was dying for a real burger the whole time I was away.
We could make it a welcome back party for Maya. How about it, Edgeworth?
I have no intention of cavorting with my enemies. Now then, Your Honor, let's start with this trial at once. Still not one for light-hearted banter, are you, Mr. Edgeworth? Jokes and good humor are beyond worthless in a court of law. Guess we'll just have to have the party without him, then. However, right after the conclusion of his trial, I might consider joining you for your little welcome back party. I certainly wouldn't mind an invite at the very least. He's still as emotionally constipated as ever, I see. Wow. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you could please go over the details of this case for us. The victim was Dumas Gloomsbury, servant in the Sprocket household. He was in attendance at the wedding reception that occurred from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Mr. Gloomsbury apparently felt some animosity towards Ellen Wyatt, and so, a bit after the reception ended at 10 p.m., he assaulted Ms. Wyatt with the intent to kill her. The defendant fought back and ended up killing Mr. Gloomsbury. In other words, it was justified self-defense, correct? If that's the case, then the defendant might not be criminally responsible.
He's right. Worst case scenario, I could go for self-defense to avoid the criminal charge. I wonder how Edgeworth plans to counter that, though.
Prosecution's first witness will make my view on the matter clear, Your Honor. Very well. Bailiff, please bring in the first witness. Please state your name and occupation, witness. And Musky, forensic investigator. And I'd just like to say, sir, being in the same courtroom as you is a great honor.
that's right. You're a fan of Edgeworth, aren't you, Emma?
We're good friends and all, Mr. Wright. But just this once, I intend to faithfully and fully testify for the prosecution. And I do mean that wholeheartedly. Expect no less from you. Yes, sir. I'm gonna do my very best. Looks like you lost the popularity contest to Mr. Edgeworth, Nick.
I really could care less. Besides, she'll see who's the better lawyer once I win this trial.
Yeah, maybe then you'll actually really care less.
Now, Detective Sky, if you please. Rundown of the case.
The murder weapon was a clock called the Timekeeper. The victim was hit with it from behind, and he fell over right into the ladder.
You couldn't care less. Also, hi, everyone. Well, just like Maya said, something could happen to cause him to act. Besides, I never saw the actual outcry against could care less. I don't use it myself. But
Saying you could care less means you do care at least a little? Yeah, sure. But see, the thing is, just like any other problem, sometimes it takes more effort to completely get rid of it than you actually care to spend enough on. So, like, I could get over my hang-ups about such and such, but, you know, maybe I don't value doing so enough. So, like, I could care less, but I'm not going to sign up for classes in getting over it or anything. Because the victim was hit with it from behind, and he fell over right into the lantern. The defendant was spotted then, standing in front of the body, holding the murder weapon. The victim was struck twice, by the way.
he was struck twice.
That's right. There's no mistake about it. The first blow was to the back of the victim's head. It was hard enough to knock him unconscious. Yet, despite the fact that he'd been immobilized by the first blow, the defendant delivered a second, fatal blow to the side of the victim's head.
Which means what exactly?
I figured it would go right over your head. Let's put it this way. By striking the victim a second time, the defendant killed her last chance to escape from any criminal wrongdoing.
She did. But how, Mr. Edgeworth?
The defendant may have been fighting back because she was being attacked. However, she then went on to deliver a fatal blow to a man who was already fully unconscious. Nick, is he saying what I think he is?
I don't feel so well.
Thus, Mr. Wright has justified self-defense been removed from the table. Prosecution intends to prove that the defendant killed the victim with murderous intent. Allow me to belatedly submit the victim's autopsy report.
So that's why he was acting all smug. Well, more smug than usual.
It's fine, right? It's not like we were going to plead self-defense anyway, right?
Right, but now the judge has a negative impression of Ellen. He may not get to prosecute much anymore, but he definitely hasn't lost his touch.
Autopsy report added to the court record. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Woo. Rundown of the case. The murder weapon was a clock called the Timekeeper.
Hold it!
Are you completely sure the murder weapon was the Timekeeper?
Yes, completely. The shape of the injury on the victim's head matches up with that of the Timekeeper, and is definitely heavy enough to kill someone with.
But would the defendant have been able to pick up and swing something so heavy?
I tried it myself, and I was able to lift it up just fine.
Maybe you're just freakishly strong?
Excuse me, Mr. Wright? I'll have you know that people on the force know me as the dainty forensic investigator.
Sorry, but really, you're hardly a delicate flower.
Mr. Wright, this is a court of law. Save your antics for after the trial, if you know how.
Yes, sir. It won't happen again, sir.
Moving on. The victim was hit with it from behind, and he fell over, right into the lantern.
Hold it!
The defendant was fighting back against the victim, right? If so, wouldn't she have hit him from the front and not from behind?
The victim must have tried to run once Ms. Wyatt started fighting back. That's probably when he got hit from behind.
I see. Thus the blow to the back of his head.
The defendant must have looked awfully scary when she was brandishing that clock.
I don't know about that. Regardless of how scary Ellen looked, the victim was definitely hit from behind.
May I go on?
Yes, of course. Please do.
The defendant was spotted then, standing in front of the body holding a murder weapon.
Hold it!
But that's only because she was so panicked when she found the body. That she tried to use the timekeeper to go back in time.
Objection!
Mr. Wright, you have any idea how absurd you sound?
But Miss Wyatt really believed she could travel through time with that clock.
You really should have come up with a more credible story, you know.
Yes, I agree. Me three, but it's all I've got to go on.
Anyway, under the circumstances, the only conclusion we can draw is that the defendant killed the victim. The victim was struck twice, by the way.
Hold it!
Miss Wyatt must have had a chance to escape after she struck the victim the first time. So why would she stick around and hit him with such a heavy object again?
Well, about that. Allow me to explain. Why did she strike him again, indeed? To finish off the victim, of course. This very act clearly shows that she had every intention of killing Mr. Gloomsbury. But Miss Wyatt would never do a thing like that. Let's see some evidence that disproves my theory. Are you gonna just stand there and take that from him, Nick? I can't refute his claim head-on, so I'll have to approach it from a different angle. Well, it looks like we won't be going anywhere until we can refute Edward's claim. This is so exciting. We haven't taken on Mr. Edgeworth in ages. Yeah. Okay, Nick, now go get him. No need to rush me, Maya. Alright, I'd better start by comparing Emma's testimony with the advice we have, and look for any glaring inconsistencies. Alright, what glares? So, first off, clocked with a secret mechanism. The body was found in here, which is a whole complicated thing because of the flower petals and note broken. Yeah. I haven't looked at these things properly, actually. Okay, there's the flower whose petals were upon, and there are the bulls in corresponding genders to the couple, as opposed to the pair of males that we actually had on screen. Well, on stage. Pterodactyls exist. Okay. Gloomsbury's autopsy report. Time of death, September 20, between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. Cause of death, cerebral hemorrhage from a strong blow to the head. One contusion was found on the back of the head and one on the side. The blows were caused by the same weapon. Okay. You can see the whole shenanigans. Right. Okay. The victim was hit with it from behind and he fell over right into the lantern. This... I mean, okay, so first off, none of that comports with what we see here. If he fell into this... Like, this thing should be sitting on this base. So, somehow he managed to fall... onto... There. He fell onto the middle of the side of it. In such a way that all this happened. Strong disbelief. The defendant was spotted then, standing in front of the body holding a murder weapon. The victim was struck twice by the way. Well, hold on. Here's the big one. If he was hit from behind, why is he landing on his back? This, in general, is my sign of shenanigans. I don't think that the game... I have low confidence that the game will be ready for me to say this, but it's what I'm going to say is problematic.
Objection!
There we go. Detective Sky, I'm afraid I have to apologize in advance. For what?
for embarrassing you in front of your idol.
What do you mean?
If you take a look at this photo of the crime scene, you'll see that the victim is lying on his back. But if the victim had been hit from behind, as you claim, then he should have fallen over into the lantern face down.
Ah,
It's not enough to simply take someone's side, Detective Sky, even if it's Mr. Edgeworth's.
There does appear to be a flaw in Detective Sky's testimony. Mr. Wright, if you think I'm going to just back right down, then you're sadly mistaken.
It's time to throw a poll out. 2 minutes to decide if we will find a stopping point and switch to a different game, or continue with this one.
Mr. Wright, if you think I'm going to just back right down, then you're sadly mistaken.
Emma is unusually fired up today.
Don't forget, she's in front of her hero, Nick. If the Steel Samurai came to watch this trial, I'd want to do my absolute best, too. Listen, Mr. Wright, it's entirely possible that the defendant moved the victim's body after he fell over. In that case, there wouldn't be any contradiction, right? Indeed. That was an excellent counter-argument, Detective. You can count on me, sir. So, what do you have to say to that, Mr. Wright?
Is it possible that the victim's body was moved after he fell into the lantern?
Not possible? There are no signs of anything being moved. Things are on top of him. Like, this is the position that he fell in. No.
Sorry, Detective, but there's no way the victim's body was moved after his death.
Oh, really? And what makes you so sure?
One look at this here, and it should become obvious.
The debris upon him?
Take that!
Question mark? Those broken bits of the lantern?
Yes. If the body had been moved after the fact, these fragments would have fallen off of it. But as you can clearly see, they're lying perfectly undisturbed on top of the body. This means that the victim must have been lying face up from before the lantern even broke.
You're right. There's flower petals on him. Wouldn't they have been moved too? Yeah, like the whole thing is like, it looks like it's something he fell into. But wait a minute. If that's true, then when was the victim killed? I mean, the lantern was still whole during the reception, right?
Right. Which means we've just overturned a major assumption about this case. If the victim was already dead before the lantern was even broken, then the body must have been inside the lantern since before the reception started.
What are we... distracted now. What is this whole bark? Fragments are perfectly undisturbed. He must have been... but... lying face up from before the lantern even broke. Oh, yeah, because if he fell into the lantern, they wouldn't expect more pieces to fall on top of him. Okay. Like they're expecting, which, you know, makes sense. If you fall into it, you're going to be on top of the shards. Instead, the shards were on top of him, suggesting that it broke while he was in there. So, one thing you could say, my client noticed something was wrong inside, and she lifted up the thing to try and break him out.
I don't know. Okay. Then the body must have been inside the lantern since before the reception started. In other words, the defense asserts that the victim was killed before the wedding reception. What? Yeah, we talked about the blood on the wheel, the unpainted wheel that was inside. In short, when Ms. White was seen standing in front of the body after the reception, it wasn't the moment just after the murder was committed. It was the moment she happened to discover the body, just as Ms. Wyatt claims.
Ah,
Objection!
Did his voice get, like, way deeper in this game than it was before? I don't remember his previous objection noise, but
whether the act was committed before or after the reception is entirely inconsequential. After all, it was the defendant who prepared the reception hall for the event in question. Therefore, when the murder occurred, it changes nothing with regard to her guilt. She could have killed the victim before the reception, as you claim, and then tried to hide his body in the lantern after the event ended.
Objection!
Sorry, but that doesn't make any sense. I mean, where would the body have been hidden during the reception in your scenario?
That's...
Even you have to admit, Mr. Edgeworth, that this has opened up a new possibility.
Do explain, Mr. Wright.
Well, if Ms. Wyatt didn't commit the crime in the reception hall, then that means someone, somewhere, put the victim's body into the lantern.
I suppose that makes sense. A dead body couldn't have put itself in there. Although a living body could, and then could have died in there.
Exactly, Your Honor. In other words, if the murder actually occurred before the reception, it opens up the possibility that the defendant didn't, or that he was killed somewhere else.
The way we've been talking, someone somewhere. Right, if we're saying that the body was already dead, killed somewhere else, let's say.
If the body was hidden inside the lantern, then it's possible that the body was moved along with it from somewhere else.
Oh, you're right. You can run that mouth of yours all you want. Do you have any evidence to support what's coming out of it, Mr. Wright?
Of course I do. I think the answer lies in that piece of evidence, and in something.
So are we going to talk about why it is the bull instead of the cow?
That was left at the crime scene that would point us to where the victim was really killed.
Oh, the flowers, then. Very well, Mr. Wright, in that case. What proves that the lantern and the body were moved from somewhere else? Photo of the hold, where other lanterns and the flowers.
Take that!
This proves that the murder took place somewhere other than the reception hall.
I'm afraid I can't say that I follow. A piece of evidence will make you happy point, Nick.
No!
Yet another pointless piece of evidence from a senseless attorney.
No!
You said you wanted to go out to dinner with me.
Fine, so this piece wasn't convincing enough. Then there must be something else that would be easier for the judge to understand.
What proves that the lantern and the body were moved from somewhere else? Oh. Can I just show? Oh, there you go. The petals were from flowers not found inside the reception hall.
Take that!
The photo of the victim again.
Yes. I'd like the court to focus on this one thing, or focus on this thing right here. Flower petal.
Take that!
Flower petals, Mr. Wright.
These petals are from a kind of flower that was not present in the reception hall. This means they must have gotten into the lantern when it was somewhere else.
Just where do you propose this somewhere else to be, Mr. Wright?
I propose that this piece of evidence will tell us where the flower petals came from.
Okay, now the hold.
Take that!
Please take a look at the flowers in this picture of the hole. Notice how their petals are of the same shape as the petals in the crime scene photo?
Yes, I see. They do look to be from the same kind of flower.
Objection!
Is that really all you've got? Flowers of flowers of flowers, they're all the same. I would hardly call what you presented compelling evidence. I'm afraid I couldn't disagree with you more, Mr. Edgeworth. I gave a flower of this type to my lovely wife once when we were young. So I can assure you that this is very meaningful and compelling evidence indeed. The soundness of my judgment in this matter is backed by nothing less than pure love. But, Your Honor...
Let it go, Mr. Edgeworth. It's clear you don't know much about flowers. It's not like you have anyone you'd actually give any to, after all.
Jump to him hiding the bouquet with Phoenix's name on it.
But maybe you should study up on them just in case the opportunity presents itself.
Well... This from the man who only knows the names of 3 types of flowers.
That's hardly relevant to the case at hand.
Not a denial.
The defense asserts that it's highly probable that the victim was killed in the hold. If the body was then placed in a lantern and moved to the reception hall for some reason, it would completely destroy the prosecution's case.
Then you mean the body was...
Yes, the victim's body was inside the lantern during the entire beautiful wedding reception. Someone is looking in that direction. Uh-huh. While the defendant and her betrothed were celebrating their love.
What?
The wedding takes on the tone of the macabre.
Smooth talk might work on his honor, but it won't work on me.
What are you talking about now?
Take another look at all the evidence and you'll soon see what I mean.
She would just tell me already.
Detective Sky, I'm sure you already figured out what I'm talking about, correct? Of course, sir. Mr. Wright is the only one here who hasn't. Why don't you leave this to me, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well. Let's see what you can do. Detective Sky, please give your testimony to this court. Witness testimony. The prosecution's rebuttal. The victim could not have been killed before the reception. The autopsy report states that the estimated time of death was after the reception. And that estimated time of death is correct. There's no way it could be wrong. It's clear Mr. Gloomsbury was killed after the reception. And that completely contradicts your claim.
I guess so.
Tell me you took at least a cursory glance at the autopsy report, Mr. Wright. I did, actually. It appears you've grown rusty since our last outing. Might I suggest you go back and brush up on the basics?
Sure. Though I must say, you're as cocky as ever, Mr. Edworth.
Beg your pardon. What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright?
I'm just saying that I'll go back to basics if that's what Mr. Edworth wants. I'll prove how badly he's underestimating me with a good old-fashioned cross-examination.
Very well. Let's see you put your money where your mouth is, Mr. Wright. Cross-examination. The prosecution's rebuttal. The victim could not have been killed before the reception.
Hold it!
You sound pretty certain. You must have some solid grounds for making that claim, right?
Of course I do. And you're going to feel silly when I show you what they are. Ready? Feast your eyes on this. The autopsy report states that the estimated time of death was after the reception.
Hold it!
I've read the autopsy report too, you know.
You don't need me to explain it to you, right? How there's no way the victim could have been killed before the reception, I mean?
Detective Sky, I think you've overlooked something big. Time travel.
I have?
Why don't you take another look at the evidence?
But I've already looked at all the evidence. And quite carefully, too, I'll have you know. Blood on the inside gear. Detective Sky. Not be taken in by his verbal antics. He's simply bluffing, as always. Right, sir. And that estimated time of death is correct. There's no way it could be wrong.
Hold it!
Is it possible that the culprit did something to obscure the real time of death?
No, not in this case. There was no snow or anything to keep the body from decomposing. I know you remember from the last trial. And there's no fridge on that airship big enough to fit a body into.
So you've already checked into that, I see.
It all comes down to the estimated time of death, doesn't it? Couldn't the killer mess with the victim's time of death by keeping the body on ice?
Yeah, if they had the means to. The prosecution is treating the estimated time of death as an absolute. But is it really?
I take it you don't think it is, huh, Nick? In that case, we're gonna have to find a way to convince him otherwise.
Yeah, there's gotta be a way somehow.
The victim... Okay, so if the estimated time of death was after the reception... Question is, why do we have this bloody gear with this... Grab Ellen when convenient, then send her off from the Vista deck. Oh. The victim was left-handed, trying to open the thing with his left hand. Oh. Well, that's a shenanigan. Oh, hold on. You have dry eyes for the vapor. Oh, good heck, that's all over here, isn't it? It's going right onto that bowl platform. Oh, good heck. Oh, no. Okay, so am I showing the fog machine or the picture? I'm gonna say the fog machine, because it literally says the words dry ice. It's gonna complain, it's gonna say, you're not ready for this yet, but whatever.
Objection!
Okay, good. I admit that the estimated time of death does contradict my theory. Finally. And that means your theory that the victim was killed before the reception is still entirely plausible. Huh? What makes you think that? The killer could have falsified the time of death by using a certain item in the reception hall. Please take a look at this. And what is that contraption, Mr. Wright? It's a fog machine, Your Honor, used to create a special romantic atmosphere in the hall. You see, nothing ruins the mood like the scent of a dead body. And this machine could have been used to falsify the time of death? Yes, Your Honor, because this machine uses dry ice to perform its magic. Dry ice? Ah, yes, the super cold stuff commonly used to make theatrical fog, right?
Good luck. It's open.
I see. So your claim is that this dry ice was used to keep the body cold? Oh. In that case, I guess the victim could have been killed before the reception. Order. Order in this court. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do you have to say about this development? The victim was killed in the hold before the wedding reception. Prosecution acknowledges the possibility of this claim. Now we're getting somewhere. Prosecution would also like to thank you, Mr. Wright. Huh? For what? I didn't know how a certain piece of evidence fit into this case. But now, thanks to you, I do. What piece of evidence? To get into the hold, one needs a key card, like this one. Here, we have a record of those who entered the hold with such key cards. Dumas Gloomsbury, Pierce Nickety, Ellen Wyatt. Times aren't specified, but these are the last 3 entries on the day of the murder. And as you can see, the last person into the hole that day was the defendant. What? So the one who moved the body out of the hold must have been... That's right, it was none other than the defendant, or someone using her key card, clearly because they left it at her house instead of any place that she actually was. Hold entry record added to the court record. A record of the key cards used to access the Starship hold. Hey Nick, take a look at this entry record. There are a couple of other names on here besides Ellen's. Hey, you're right. According to the entry record of Mr. Edgeworth, Pierce Nickety had also gone into the hold. Isn't it possible that he could have been the culprit?
Objection!
Sorry, but Mr. Nickety was escorting a few of the guests at the time. I'm sure he'll be happy to testify to that fact if you would like. Think me cocky all you like, Mr. Wright, but my confidence is rarely misplaced. Now then, it's probably safe to assume that after killing the victim in the hold, the defendant moved his body to the hall to dispose of it discreetly. What do you mean by discreetly? Especially if they left it in a very public place for hours. The defendant volunteered to take care of the reception's cleanup personally. That means she would have had the chance to dispose of anything and anywhere she wanted, including taking the lantern off the airship without raising any suspicion. Don't tell me you didn't know about Miss Wyatt working volunteer for cleanup duty, Mr. Wright. Yeah. My last task is to serve it in the Sprocket household. I offered to take on the preparation and clean up the reception banquet.
I see.
Look at you, sweating bullets like a rookie, even after all these years. Nevertheless, thank you for proving that the only person who could have killed the victim in the hold is Ellen Wyatt.
Great job, Phoenix. Now we're back to square one.
Perhaps you should ask Miss Sykes for some help in reviewing defense for dummies. Way to go, sir. You got Mr. Right in a cold sweat. I wonder if maybe the promise of seeing that miserable look on his face is what brought me back to court today. Certainly made all my stress and woes as chief prosecutor just melt away. I guess he had a lot of stress built up.
I'll give him something to stress over before we're through today.
Your Honor, prosecution asks that you render your verdict this time. For that man over there tries to throw the court into chaos with his meaningless bluffs. I see. Mr. Wright, are there any last meaningful bluffs you'd like to present to this court?
Why does he have to assume it'll be a bluff?
Well, can't imagine. Can't imagine.
Heck.
Nick, hurry up and throw a good one out there.
I will. Well, all right then. Let's see. I got it. How do you know it was Ms. Wyatt who used her keycard? After all, if it turns out that somebody else used her card, it would mean Ms. Wyatt didn't do it.
Interesting. And are you able to prove this bluff to be true?
I mean, I don't know if I can prove it. I mean, I know we picked it up from her house, and she hadn't had a chance to go back to her house. But I can't just present her house, which is not a piece of evidence. I assure you, I'm not bluffing, Your Honor. Well, now what?
Wait a minute, Nick. I can think of a certain somebody who might have used Ellen's keycard.
Oh, no. You can.
Remember? The one who was sneaking around the hold in spite of not being a family member?
Oh, that's right. Your Honor, the defense would like to call a certain witness to the stand. I need the testimony of this person who may have entered the hold with Miss Wyatt's card.
Larry Downey, a.k.a. the Butts.
Take that!
That's your witness. Are you saying that numbskull was on the airship? He never breathed a word about that to me.
That's not surprising, because Mr. Nickety told him to keep quiet about it. But Mr. Butts himself had admitted it to me. He claimed to have found a way to sneak into the Flying Chapel's fold to see Miss Wyatt. This photo he took and gave to me is proof.
And was it he who moved the lantern with the body inside to the reception hall?
You know as well as I that with him, anything is possible. And this is one possibility we should definitely look into. can't believe this. What in the world is he doing mixed up in this? Right, he went to school with him also. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. Ooh. Remember what we've been saying since elementary school? When something smells, it's usually the butts. So terrible. Alright, fellas, I'm gonna have to take a brief break. It's being like that again. Y'all can do likewise, get a drink, do some self-care, whatever you might need. We will be back here in about 10 to 15 minutes. Break. Alright, fellas, we're back. Sorry about that. Like I always say, never have a body. Be a cartoon character. Alright. When something smells, it's usually the butts. Exactly. Larry, you'll pay for this. Well, if you want to extract your payment now, he's right up there in the gallery. Yikes!
Bailiff, seize the witness before he makes a run for it.
No! Why does this stuff always happen to me? Sorry, Larry, but you brought this on yourself.
Let us break for a 15-minute recess.
See, that would have been a great opportunity to actually do the break, but oh.
I ask that both sides prepare for the next witness's testimony during this time. September 22nd. District Court. Defendant. Lobby. Number 3. Why is it defendant lobby number 3 if we're in courtroom number 6? It's been a while since I've had this much fun and excitement. A face-off against Mr. Edgeworth. A harrowing tightrope walk for the defense.
Phew, I'm exhausted already. Boss!
Oh. I'm here for more support.
Athena, are you all done practicing for Trucy's magic show?
Well, to be perfectly honest, I sort of ran away. That's because she was putting my life in danger, I tell you.
I see. I think I'll need to have a one-on-one with her. You're really athletic and fit, Athena, so Trucy probably thinks she can run you ragged.
Well, it may be true. Which is why not even Trucy can keep up with me when I run full speed. Huh. Looks like you spoke too soon, Athena. Never underestimate the resourcefulness of a great magician. Huh? Magical girl Trucy Wright is on the scene. No! Now, Athena, it's time to practice human combustion magic. Go on, douse yourself in this gasoline. But don't worry, it's a magic trick after all, so it's perfectly safe. Run away! Hey, you! You're not getting off that easily. They get along so well, don't they? Which reminds me of the good old days. You, me, and Pearlie. Oh, and Detective Gumshoe. Can't forget him. Miss him! We had all kinds of fun at the crime scenes back then, remember?
Leaving me to do all the serious investigating, as I recall.
Court will soon be back in session, Mr. Wright.
Right, thank you.
So Larry's the next witness, right? I can't wait to see what happens.
Sadly, I can already imagine it.
September 22. District Court. Courtroom number 6. Court will now reconvene.
Nick, Edgy, two of you gonna hang me out to dry, aren't you?
No, not the both of us. Just Mr. Wright.
Nick, how could you? I don't really think he did it, of course, but I've got to use whatever leads I can. Mr. Butts, there's a possibility you moved the lantern that had the dead body in it. So if you want to clear yourself of any suspicion, all you have to do is testify.
Now then, your testimony, please, witness. Witness testimony. Nick is a jerk face.
Nick, you big fat stinking jerk. How could you doubt your best bud? We've known each other since elementary school. Well, get this, pal. Our friendship's over. What?
Hmm. Well, go ahead, Mr. Wright. It's all yours.
Why me?
You're the one who called him to the stand, so it's your responsibility.
Thanks, old chum. Can't any of you show me a little respect? Even just a shred?
You cross-examine the wit. You may cross-examine the witness, Mr. Wright.
I would if there were any testimony to cross-examine.
Nick is a jerk face.
Heck, you big fat stinking jerk.
Hold it!
Come on, Larry. Can't you please give me something real to work with? You don't think I don't know about your tricks. If I say something careless, you're gonna shove some evidence at me with a loud objection and a super smug look on your face. Yeah, well, that is my job. If I get found guilty, how are you gonna take responsibility for what you've done? Why should I take responsibility for just doing my job? You heartless jerk, don't you have any compassion for me? How can you dodge your best bud? We've known each other since elementary school.
Hold it!
I'm sorry, Mr. Butts, but if it wasn't Ms. White that entered the hole of that card, then you're the most likely suspect. Heck, are you seriously doubting the innocence of your old childhood friend? Yeah. Well, technically, yes. But it isn't personal, I assure you. Oh, a true friend would believe in me no matter what. Can't you see my tears? Don't they mean anything to you? Nick! Nick! You don't really think you can cry your way out of this, do you? Okay, fine. In that case... Oh, well, get this, pal. Our friendship's over.
Hold it!
Larry, listen to me. Shut up, I'm not talking to you anymore. Ah, this is getting us nowhere. Come off it, Larry. Huh? If you don't quit fooling around and start testifying, Ms. White will be found guilty. For real? If no new information comes out of this cross-examination, then yes, Mr. Bot's for real. Not that I would have a problem with that myself. Larry, just tell us the truth already. Did you or didn't you go into the hold and move a lantern up to the reception hall? I never moved any bull lantern, I tell ya. Bull lantern? What, did I say something weird? You told me that you didn't attend the wedding reception. Can you believe they told me only family and relatives could attend? They wouldn't even let me into the reception hall. Yeah, so what? Then that's odd. No one in this courtroom ever mentioned the sex of the lantern that was moved. So how could you know that it was a bull lantern? You didn't actually have to go to the reception to know that. Anyone could tell there were two Pegabulls by looking at the Flying Chapel's pamphlet. All I can tell right now is there's a strong scent of bull in the air in here. No, that's a cow and a bull. Pegamoose. Please add that last statement to your testimony, Mr. Butts. Anyone could tell there were two flying Pegabulls by looking at the Flying Chapel's pamphlet. No, you couldn't.
Objection!
I want you to take a look at this, Mr. Butts. Because unfortunately for you, the pamphlet clearly shows a Pega cow and a Pega bull in their example diagram in the reception hall. Huh? But on that day, instead of putting a Pega cow and Pega bull out for the bride and groom, there were two male Pega bulls on display. Yet somehow you knew there were two Pega bulls in the reception hall that day. There's only one way you'd know something like that, Larry. It was you who moved the Pegabull to the reception hall, wasn't it? No. Larry, you didn't. Mr. Botts, did you move the lantern containing the victim's body to the reception hall? That's what it looks like.
What?
Wait, Nick. You don't think I'm the murderer, do you? Maybe you and Mr. Bloomsbury are fighting over Mr. Wyatt, and you ended up killing him? But Maya! Not you too! Look, I did sneak into the reception, but that's as far as it went. You know me, I wouldn't hurt a fly. You snuck into the reception? Yeah, sure. And some of the sprocket men caught and locked me up in one of the cabins. It's pretty awful, actually. That's when I made that drawing in the pterodactyl I showed you, Nick. Ixnay on the pterodactyl tail, Larry. Mr. Wright, not even you would take this farce that far, would you? We are talking about Larry. What do I do? Do I accuse Larry of being the true culprit? I mean, no, of course not. But then who are we blaming? Like, he might have moved it unknowingly, and that's surely likely. No, you're right, Mr. Edward. Mr. Butts didn't have a reason to kill Mr. Gloomsbury. Clary needs jail, though. No, nobody needs jail. Bullish person. He might have had an imaginary reason to kill Soren Sprocket, sure, but not Mr. Gloomsbury.
After all, he did steal Mr. Sprocket's bride and try to elope with her.
Just because I tried to steal somebody's bride doesn't make me a murderer. I believe you, Larry, and I don't think you killed anybody either. You would never do anything like that. Okay, call buddy, old pal. I knew you'd come through for me. Funny that, considering your sworn testimony just now that we were through.
Mr. Butts, it's time you told this court the whole truth. Understood?
Moving the lantern. It's just like Nick said, I'm going to move the lantern. I was poking around the reception hall before the main event and I saw a lantern was broken. There was a note on it that said, exchange with the one in the hold, Ellen. So I decided to do Ellie a favor. No!
So you switched the lanterns before the reception, did you? Then that means that the victim really was killed before the reception.
Oh no, it's another pool time. Heck. Oh no.
Then that means that the victim really was killed before the reception. Broken lantern updated in the court record. It appeared that Mr. Butts completely fell for the defendant's scheme.
Scheme? What scheme?
This note from the defendant, exchanged with the one in the hold, Ellen. Mr. Butts moved the lantern with the body and it up to the reception hall because of this note. And thus, he's become a suspect in Mr. Gloomsbury's murder.
Oh, that second lantern did feel pretty heavy. But I never thought there would. I never would have thought there was a dead body in it.
What was a note like that doing on a lantern in the first place?
You've got it all wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. I left that note for myself. It was simply a reminder because I can be very forgetful.
Objection!
What a sorry excuse, Ms. Wyatt. Prosecution contends that this note shows one facet of the defendant's murderous plan. Dear Mr. Butts, you played right into Ms. Wyatt's hands.
No way, Edgy. I don't believe it.
Objection!
Do you still really believe Ms. Wyatt to be the culprit, Mr. Edgeworth?
Of course. My stance on the matter remains unchanged. If you think I'm wrong, then prove it with your cross-examination.
Gladly. Very well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Cross-examination. Moving the lantern. It's just like Nick said, I'm the one who moved the lantern.
Hold it!
Why didn't you tell us that sooner?
Because I knew you guys were going to be suspicious of me, that's why.
We're suspicious of you now because you tried to hide it.
My thoughts exactly. Huh. Well, now I told you. Happy? So how about letting me go?
No, not yet. We need you to stick around and sort a few things out.
Ah, fine. I was poking around the reception hall before the main event and saw a lantern was broken.
Hold it!
The lantern you swapped out was a female Pega a Pega cow, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Why did you replace a female lantern with a male one?
So I was too busy trying not to get caught? I have time to check for little details like that.
If you didn't want to get caught, you could have just left well enough alone, you know.
Whatever. Anyway, when I took a look at the broken lantern, I saw... There's a note on it that said exchange with the one in the hold. Ellen.
Hold it!
That note wasn't addressed to you, was it?
I guess not, but... How did I let my dear sweet Ellie do all that heartful physical labor on her own?
It's precisely that thought process that constantly gets you in trouble, Larry.
Besides, it was my big chance to show her how much I cared about her. So I decided to do Ellie a favor.
Hold it!
Nobody saw you the whole time while you were switching the lanterns.
No, I didn't get caught. Not that time, anyway.
Not that time.
Yeah, when I tried to sneak in the reception hall the first time, I didn't have as much luck. Those rocket guys spotted me and nabbed me.
All my words are failing me right now.
Pretty exciting, don't you think?
Oh, Larry, you need help.
And then they locked me up in one of the cabins. Nick, what are you asking about stuff like this for, anyway? Shouldn't you be trying to prove Ellie's innocence?
Well, is that statement of his important to the case?
I mean, of course it is.
Ah! Updates to Suika game?
That's a thing to interrupt me about. So he did try to sneak in and he was nabbed. So it was the second time that he got caught, or what? Oh. Yeah, this puts a timeline on when this happened, right? Yeah, it's important.
Mr. Butt's trying to crash the reception and subsequently getting locked up in a cabin. I believe these might be important facts in this case, Your Honor.
Very well. Mr. Butts, please add that statement to your testimony. Tried to sneak in the reception hall, but I got caught and locked up in a cabin. Okay, so we got caught up. We got caught. Yes, there was pterodactyl. But besides pterodactyl. Wheeled from the hold to the reception hall before the reception began. Also, I didn't notice that updated. Okay, but... Then how'd you get it in there after you got caught? Up. When you tried to sneak in the reception hall the first time, it didn't work. So the second time it did. So how did you get out of the cabin? If that's that. Yeah, if all this happened before the reception, I don't know.
Objection!
Your Honor, I have a feeling this piece of evidence contradicts the witness's statement.
A feeling defense.
Yes, Your Honor. Or rather, a hope that it indicates a contradiction?
Mr. Wright, is there or isn't there a contradiction here?
And it looks like there is, but there really isn't one, is there?
Are you asking me, Mr. Wright? Because what it really seems like to me is you're asking for a penalty.
Thanks for that definitive answer, Your Honor.
With a lawyer like you, Mr. Wright, even I feel bad for the defendant.
Well, you don't have to feel bad for her for long. I'll get it right next time, you'll see.
Okay, so is this the... I mean... Do we just show... the cabin? I mean, we could. We'll try it.
Objection!
Oh.
Your Honor, I have a feeling this piece of evidence... No.
Let's find this. Ah. A lawyer like you, I feel bad for the defendant. No. I have to feel bad for her for long. I'll get it right next time, you'll see. I've got to. Oh. What? Did I just show it in the wrong? No? Or it, oh.
Hold it!
Literally just press it.
So you got locked up. Then what happened?
I broke out.
I started looking for Ellie and wandered in the reception hall again. That's why I saw the broken lantern and replaced it. Even after they caught you and locked you up, you still went looking for Ms. Wyatt. But hold on a minute. What is it, Nick? Maya, doesn't something seem weird to you? Larry's saying he replaced the lantern after he broke out of the cabin.
That's right. Oh, wait, huh? Right. Doesn't make much sense, does it? Mr. Wright, have you found an inconsistency in the witness's statement?
Yes, I believe so, Your Honor. Mr. Butts moved the lantern after he broke out of the cabin, but that contradicts with this.
Daddy Musk is Butts' simp?
I wouldn't use that particular word. But he does have a questionable way of relating to women. Does Butts have Riz? No. Not that we see anyway. Okay, so after he broke out of the cavern, but he wielded it now before the reception began.
Take that!
Right? Is that? Yes, it's the broken lantern, Your Honor. Mr. Butts, what you're saying doesn't make any sense at all. What? Why not? You swapped the lanterns before the reception began, right? Yeah, that's what I said, isn't it? But you also just said that you swapped the lanterns after you got locked up in a cabin for trying to sneak in at the reception. In other words, you're saying you swapped the lanterns both before the reception and after the reception took place?
That certainly doesn't make any sense, does it? Mr. Butts, did you swap the lanterns before or after the reception?
Which was it? Before or after? There's a world of difference between the two. Well, Mr. Butts? I guess I can't expect guys like you to understand. In a nutshell, it was both before and after the reception. What? Tried to sneak into the first reception and got locked up. The first reception? Oh, I don't like where this is going. Then, through the power of Ellie's pendant, time got rewound and went back to the time before the reception. It was after that when I replaced the lantern. So it was both before the reception and after the reception. Get it? We went back in time before the reception. So of course the reception would take place one more time after that, right? That's why what I said makes perfect sense.
Mr. Wright, what in the world is the witness talking about? Has he developed some sort of intellectual ailment I'm not aware of since I saw him last?
Well. None of the sprockets seem to remember the time skip, but I do. And Ellie remembers it too. I think the power of our love for each other made that miracle happen.
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry, but could you please translate this man's gibberish so the rest of us can understand?
So now I have to be the one to explain about the whole time travel thing. Go on, Nick. I know you can do it. Looks like you don't have much choice, Nick. To heck with it. I can't lose any more of my dignity today anyway. The defendant, Miss Ellen Wyatt, has told the defense the following strange story. She said that after the reception ended, she was attacked by Mr. Gloomsbury. She claims that as she was being assaulted, she made a wish upon her pendant. Please, take me back to that blissful moment. In doing so, time apparently rewound itself to just before the reception began. What? I know it's hard to believe, but think about it this way. Through the power of the pendant, both Ellen Wyatt and Larry Butts experienced time travel.
What?
Objection!
What absolute rubbish. Mr. Wright, I've heard my fair share of your nonsense over the years. This takes the cake. Have you thoroughly lost your mind?
Objection!
But this is simply the conclusion I came to, using that logic ability you love so much.
What?
The truth of the matter is, the future president of Sprocket Aviation, Soren Sprocket, has been researching time machines. So what if a time machine has already been successfully created? And what if that's one of Sprocket Aviation's top secret inventions?
A time machine. Yeah, I even saw something while we were time traveling. I saw a pterodactyl flying through the sky. Maybe the airship was set to travel through time for their honeymoon trip? What? A pterodactyl?
Objection!
You can't possibly have any evidence to back up your ridiculous time travel story.
Well,
Huh. As I thought. In any case, I now have the evidence to prove that you're no more intelligent than Larry. That's a fast analogy. I'm not the same old Larry you used to know. Oh. Do you want evidence? I got your evidence right here. I know I'm going to be showing it in a second, but what? Okay. That you're able to take a picture from the reception. This is a photo I secretly took of the first reception. What?
Larry, I can't believe you. Well, anyway, good job. If we compare the photos of the first and second receptions and can find a difference, then we'll be able to prove that the reception was held twice.
But do you really think such a difference exists?
Yes, Your Honor. I just need some time to find it for you.
This is preposterous. Very well, please show the court what's different then.
This is proof positive that the wedding reception was held twice.
Well, give me the original picture to compare against. Is he wearing different clothing? Are either of them wearing different clothing? Is she carrying different flowers? Yes, she's carrying different flowers.
This is proof positive that the wedding reception was held twice.
I no longer have what? I don't have crosshairs, the things.
Take that!
Please direct your attention to Ms. Wyatt's bouquet of flowers. In the photo one of her in-laws took, the defendant is holding a yellow bouquet. But in the photo Mr. Butts took, she's holding a red bouquet.
You're right. That's impossible. What does this mean?
It means the defendant really did experience two wedding receptions. And she did that when she traveled back through time.
What? Nick, you did it. You proved Alan's time travel story to be true.
Yeah, I can hardly believe it myself. It's just as Ellen said. The reception was held twice. This turns every assumption we base this trial on upside down.
Objection!
Oh no?
I refuse to accept such a ludicrous argument. It's pure fiction under the guise of pseudoscience at best. There's simply no such thing as time travel.
I know it's hard, but can't you suspend your disbelief for 1 nanosecond, Edgeworth?
I bet sci-fi movies push all your buttons the wrong way, don't they, Mr. Edgeworth? I can totally picture you yelling that it never happened every 5 seconds at the screen. Maybe you should stay away from movie dates altogether. It's neither here nor there. This is real life we're talking about.
But the proof is clearly shown in the 2 photographs. That's right, Mr. Edgeworth. No matter how inexplicable.
Fine. I'll entertain your absurd delusion. So I'll demolish it before your very eyes.
What?
Let's start with this then, shall we? There's one thing your time travel theory fails to explain. It is the memories of the other guests there. The defendant and Larry remember the reception occurring twice. No member of the Sprocket family has even mentioned such a thing.
Well, that's because the time machine is classified technology.
I'm not done, you bird brain.
Bird brain?
As I was saying, if the entire family had been sworn to secrecy, why hadn't they sworn the woman who was marrying into the family to secrecy too?
That's a good point.
Honestly, all it takes is a little common sense, Mr. Wright.
Even still, how do we know that the trip through time did not really occur? There is proof in the photos that it did. And besides, if time travel doesn't exist, well, I'd be a little disappointed, frankly. I was hoping to go back to the days of my youth.
Mustn't allow yourself to be taken in by Mr. Wright's whimsical tales, Your Honor. Read about it in various literature, you see. They all say that time travel is just not logically feasible. Maybe the argument was just a little too nonsensical, Nick.
Well, in that case... why don't we put common sense to the test?
Excuse me.
The wedding reception was held twice. The photos are proof of that. But it wasn't because of time travel. It's simply because the reception had actually been held twice. Isn't that the most reasonable way to interpret the situation?
Would you care to elaborate, Mr. Wright?
If time travel doesn't exist, there's only one way to make sense of what happened. Somebody must have orchestrated this strange phenomenon. And that somebody is the gods.
Bloomsbury? Bloomsbury was the head servant. Everyone at the reception.
Mr. Bloomsbury.
How exactly did a dead man orchestrate such an event? More importantly, why?
Oh, well, it was to make it look like Mr. Sprocket had been successful in his research.
What are you asking me for? Besides, none of the other people interviewed thought he had succeeded in accomplishing time travel. Rehearsal? Yeah, but that wasn't one of the options I was given.
Your Honor, could we rewind time by just a teeny bit?
Sorry, but no.
I'd better rethink this quick before I lose any more time, too. Somebody must have orchestrated this strange phenomenon, and that somebody is the gods. Everyone at the reception? But we just said that they bark. What if all the guests at the reception conspired together, I'm on thin ice, to hold the reception twice and keep quiet about it?
What? And for what purpose would they conspire to do such a thing? If you may call me Musky, that's my name.
Well,
A brilliant deduction, Defense. I can tell that you're not a renowned lawyer for nothing. I must say I underestimated you.
how so, Mr. Nickety?
You've managed to name each event precisely as they happened. You've revealed it all to the light of day.
Then that means...
It was us. We orchestrated the whole thing. Yes, the reception was held twice. But not because of time travel, no. We simply held it a second time.
What?
Why? Why would you do such a thing? To make it as though the murder Miss Ellen committed never happened. Master Soren figured that if Miss Ellen, who had killed Gloomsbury after the first reception, experienced the reception one more time, she would think it was all a dream. It was he who ordered us to make it happen. However, only a few, myself included, knew of Miss Ellen's crime.
Are you saying most of the guests attended two receptions without knowing why?
Indeed, they needed no reason. Master Soren told them to do it, and do it they did. And that is the Sprocket way.
Then who hid the body in the lantern?
We did. We did not anticipate the petals finding their way in, nor the actions of Mr. Potts. That's how you intended to cover the whole situation up? There is just one thing everyone here has wrong. The real scene of the murder was not the hold. It was the Vista deck.
What? Then Ms. Wyatt's recollection of the events must be correct.
I admit we tried to cover this incident up, but the fact that Miss Ellen killed Bloomsbury is undeniable.
Well, this is quite a turn of events.
And so it appears we have arrived at the truth at last.
Now.
Please do feel free to travel back in time, Mr. Wright, and attempt to do this trial over again. Go on.
Well, let's not get hasty, Edgeworth.
I bet you can't do it.
I bet I can't either.
Your Honor, we'll have to hold a separate trial for the cover-up conspiracy later. As far as this case goes, I believe we're ready for your rule.
Objection!
Just before the defendant lost consciousness during our attack, she says she saw someone strike the victim. It's possible that this third party is the true culprit.
Objection!
You still want us to believe the defendant's words? Perhaps you've lost more than your touch during your time abroad. This third-person nonsense is nothing but rubbish, and you know it.
Objection!
But by the same token, how can we trust those who conspired and lied to fool this court of law? For all we know, they might still be hiding something.
You never know when to quit, do you?
Now, calm down, both of you. In any case, there isn't enough trustworthy information yet for me to render a verdict. I suggest we continue the trial after both sides have investigated the matter further.
Very well, Your Honor.
Sure. That was close.
Mr. Nickety, as for you and your cohort's attempt to cover up this crime, your case will be brought to a separate trial following the resolution of this current one.
Understood, Your Honor.
Well then, this concludes today's trial. Court is adjourned.
Didn't conclude the trial, just the proceedings. To be continued, but not today. It's time to go. Oh no.